Hello, future people, and welcome to Great Uncle John's weekly video log. This is week 46, November 19th, 2018. Winter has arrived early here with the recent snowfall still in the ground. It has been cold, but not unbearably so. I've spent much of the past week playing Battelfield V, or Battelfield V as in victory, I guess, and Red Dead Redemption 2. A couple of new Xbox games that I got, and that certainly has chewed into the time I would have normally spent paying attention to Trump news. Battelfield V is the latest in the Battlefield series, which is about the only video game I usually play. I've been playing Battlefield 1, which was set in World War I for the last couple of years, and that was an outstanding game. Probably the best Xbox type game I've ever played. Battlefield 5 is good, although still a bit buggy. It feels like they rushed it out to the Christmas market with a few rough edges, and those will hopefully be fixed with patches soon. The rest of the game seems to be just an update of Battlefield 1 with World War II weapons, and even the maps seem to be recycled. There are some new elements of gameplay, like anyone being able to revive. That's kind of cool, and I'm enjoying the game, but I feel it isn't quite finished yet. But anyway, Trump news is inescapable, and that's sort of the raison d'etre of the pod. So for us here in the has-been, we are still in suspense about how all this will end. You, of course, have studied it in history. You've read the insider books and the expert analysis, and you've enjoyed the movies and the TV series, and you probably know everything there is to know about this time in history and what's going on behind the scenes. But here we are in yesterday, and it strikes me how closely plotted this seemingly chaotic presidency is, like a season of a scripted drama, even more so than a reality series. Act 1 would have started with Trump getting dissed by Obama at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he stews and plots and decides who will run for president to mess with Obama and everything he stands for, and to get some good publicity for his brand, which is always his focus of everything. Plot point 1 is where he actually wins the presidency, much to his own surprise, and this sets up the confrontation with law and order and constitutional norms and introduces the protagonist, Robert Mueller. And the rest of Act 2 is Trump acting like a mustache-twirling villain, doing and saying things that are an affront to American democracy, and he's thwarted but also has some victories, such as placing judges on the bench who he hopes will protect him. And Act 2 ends with the November midterms that we just had, a seemingly fatal setback for Trump. And now it feels like we're in Act 3, and the nation and the world holds its breath to see how an old animal backed into a corner is going to react. With his political position greatly weakened, Mueller is now looking like he's going to finish his business soon, and all the chickens are coming home to roost. We're all wondering, what's going to happen with old Donald? How's he going to react to this? What could be a possible positive outcome for Trump? I guess Mueller finding that there was no collusion and the Russians didn't try to rig the election, and maybe there was no obstruction of justice, and he won't be held accountable for violating the emoluments clause that says you can't mix your presidential business with personal business. Sundry other legal issues like campaign violations over payoffs to mistresses will prove to be nothing. Lawsuits about his charity and university and sexual misconduct will just disappear because he's not guilty. He's got nothing to worry about. He will get some amazing bipartisan work done for the American people in his last 2 years of this term, and cruise to victory in the second term with all of this behind him. That seems absurd, of course, even for Trump, who seems to be falling about angrily and confused over the past week or so since the election. His public statements and interviews show a bitter, angry, and scared man, one with no grasp of policy or decorum or the dignity of his office. Someone who believes his base of hateful white supremacists will somehow save him, even though the election showed the base is shrinking. So we are entering Act 3, I believe, where the story reaches resolution. Now I suppose it is possible that Trump will engineer some sort of coup or arrange an emergency where he can seize more power and derail the pesky legal things bothering him, and perhaps there are enough quislings in the U.S. military and establishment to help him accomplish this, but I kind of doubt it. I'm still hopeful that there's enough real Americans who support democracy and their Constitution. I spent the last week having petty Twitter tiffs with members of the military who called him out for missing Memorial Day celebrations at Arlington Cemetery and using the military on the southern border for political purposes. He lost a distracting bid to have a CNN reporter's press credentials removed for questioning him. Federal court blocked his administration from denying asylum seekers who cross the border illegally the ability to make claims. California is being ravaged by wildfires, and he even managed to make a mess out of that, making stupid statements like climate change isn't to blame, but poor forest management, which is of course mostly a federal responsibility, and not raking the leaves, which brought much hilarity to the world. He said the president of Finland told him that they rake the leaves in Finland in the forest, and it's almost like he isn't trying anymore. These are not the words or actions of a man with a plan, but sort of a pathetic flailing about of a failing president. So as we enter Act 3, the audience, us, wants to see the good guys, Mueller and American constitutional democracy and the rule of law prevail over this man of chaos and selfishness. It is exciting for us, future people. We are in a darkened theater, munching our popcorn and watching this play out in real time. And how will it end? You know, we don't know. Don't spoil it for us, future people. And we'll see you next time.